So now, ito na yung inaabangan nating part 2 ng sentiment analysis video series ko. So recap lang, yung part 1 natin na na-discuss natin in the last video is the retail sentiment analysis video wherein pinapakita ko kung paano gumamit ng broker data or data ng mga kliyente ng mga broker. Now, sa second part nitong video series, ang titignan naman natin ay ang data ng large speculators in the market. So pag sinabi nating large speculators, ito yung mga funds na nagte-trade sa forex or yung mga nagse-speculate in the forex market pero yung malalaki yung capital. So medyo iba yung style nila ng pagte-trade as compared to the retail traders, pero maganda rin gamitin yung data nila so that meron tayong magkaroon ng idea kung saan pumupunta yung tinatawag na big money. Okay? So, just to make it clear, no, yung COT or Commitment of Traders, yun yung tawag natin sa report wherein makikita mo yung galawan ng mga bigger players. Hindi siya signal, okay? Hindi siya indication as to whether you should buy or sell ngayon, mag-buy or sell now or whatever. Hindi siya ganun. Basically kasi, yung mga large speculators in the market, they are required by US law, pero sa US to, basically sa US lang to, they are required by the US law to submit yung parang yung long orders nila, meaning yung mga buy orders nila and yung sell orders nila to the government body known as the CFTC. Okay? So since required sila, meron tayong makukuhang data. Siyempre, yung mga participants or yung mga big players ng US, hindi lang sila yung only participants in the market. Kasi paano yung mga large speculators ng ibang bansa na nagtitrade sa forex? Siyempre, hindi covered na yan ng CFTC kasi CFTC is a US government body. But, ang ginagawa natin is kumukuha tayo na sample size from the US market, yung US large spectator market, so that pwede tayo gumawa ng onting bias. So, yung first thing na gagawin ko is tuturuan ko kayo kung paano magbasa ng COT report or Commitment of Traders report, and then magpapakita ako ng onting practical examples on how to use it for your chart interpretation. So, sige, let's take a look at yung COT report sa computer ko. Okay. So, ito yung computer ko. Alright? So, saan ba usually akong tumitingin ng COT report? So, there are two websites na ginagamit ko. So, the first one na ipapakita ko ngayon is yung tradingster.com/COT. So, as compared to yung actual or official CFTC website, masasabi ko mas user-friendly siya kaya ginagamit ko siya. So, papakita ko kung ano yung itsura niyan. Actually, yung CFTC naman, medyo parehas naman siya sa format ng Tradingster. So, no problem naman na kung marunong ka magbasa nito, you can read the one in yung CFTC din. So, let's give an example. Ngayon, if makikita mo yung currencies dito, hindi siya naka-pair. Unlike sa forex trading, 'di ba? AUD/JPY, so naka-pair siya. So, dito naman, individual currencies yung tinitignan. So, it will be up to you to pair the currencies na nakikita mong malakas or mahina. So, what do I mean? Ito yung papakita ko. So, kunyari for AUD or Australian dollar, makikita natin kung ano yung ginagawa ng mga big players with regard to the AUD. Meaning, are they more bullish toward the AUD or are they more bearish? Okay? So, as you can see, no, meron ng tatlo. Yung non-commercial, commercial, and non-reportable. So, ang tinitignan natin is yung non-commercial. Kasi yung non-commercial is yung mga large speculators. Yung commercial naman, yan yung mga, siguro mga private companies na hindi naman nagtitrade ng forex, but more of, inaabangan nila yung currency fluctuation so that mas ginagamit nila sa operations nila, like maybe importation of goods, exportation, mga ganyang bagay, mga ganyang business activities. Pero hindi sila nagsispekulate. And then yung mga non-reportable, yan yung mga maliliit. Okay, maliliit na data. So not really counted yan. Yung ifo-focusan natin is yung non-commercial kasi dito yung mga large speculators, meaning siguro yung mga hedge funds, dito rin yung mga forex traders na yung mga kilala, sobra, yung mga talagang naglalagay ng malaking pera sa loob ng market. These are the ones that we have to watch out for. So, first, meron tayong number of longs and meron tayong number of shorts. Okay? And then, makikita mo dito eh. So, take note, no, yung number of longs and number of shorts, not necessarily does it mean na yan yung mga active entries nila or yung mga open entries. Pwedeng kasama din dito yung mga limits. Okay? So, kaya itong longs and shorts na to, nagbabago. Okay? So, yan yung kailangan i-take note. Kaya hindi natin pwedeng gamitin to as signal. There is a way to read this. Second is, take note mo yung date. So, nakasulat dito is 11/7. So, that means yung last update niya is 7th of November. So, isa din sa kailangan i-take note. Naglalaging siya. Laging data siya. Okay? Kaya hindi siya pwedeng gamitin talaga as para mag-signal ng intraday na trade. Kasi yung mga non-commercial, usually, ang tinitrade nila on the long-term time frames. So, that's why reliable pa siya kahit laging yung data. So, yung gagamitin natin to is, we will use this to relate kung ano yung nakikita natin sa may long-term perspective. Okay? So, yung mga long-term bias, whether the non-commercials are bullish or bearish, yan yung mga tinitignan natin. Okay? So, first, let's take a look at yung longs and shorts. So, yung first thing na kailangan natin gawin is i-compare natin yung longs and yung shorts. So, dito, 34K yung long orders for AUD. And then, meron tayong 99 orders or 99K orders for shorts. That means, in general, mas madami silang buy orders kesa sa sell orders. So, ang gagawin natin dito is i-compare natin to last week na report. So, yung latest natin dito is 7, So, eto, let's go back to 31 and i-compare natin. So, as you can see, yung nangyari dyan ay 32K yung last reporting niya, and then 107K na shorts as compared to last reporting. So, what does this tell us? Kung i-compare natin yung last reporting date niya, which is October 31, to the November 7 na report date, it's that nagdagdag ang mga long orders. Okay? And then nabawasan ang mga short orders. So what does this tell us? This tells us na for the longest time, mas madami yung mga sell orders kesa sa long orders. So yung nangyari dyan ay most likely sa long term, naka-downtrend siya. Okay? And then yung nangyari dyan is after a certain period of time, lumalakas siya. So, this tells us na maybe in the medium term, siguro mga last week, this week, ganyan, may makikita tayong possible na from yung downside, umaakyat na ng onte. Okay? So, this signals somewhat of a bullish move on the part of the AUD. Okay? So, isa din yan sa kailangan natin tignan. So, ngayon, alam na natin na medyo bullish yung AUD. Ang gagawin natin is kailangan natin maghanap ng kabaliktaran nito. Meaning, yung shorts, yan yung tumataas, yung longs yung bumababa. So let's try and see naman USD. Para kung may makita tayo, meron tayong ma-pair. So ito yon, US dollar index. Click on COT legacy. Ayan. So, ito naman, ganyan din siya, tumataas yung longs, bumababa yung shorts. So, ang ibig sabihin yan is, yung USD, bullish din siya. So, kapag pinair mo siyang dalawa, parehas yung bullish pressure niya. Yan yung magiging prediction niya. So, mag-try tayo maghanap ng iba so that mas maging maganda ang example. Okay, so ito, magandang example to. Ang nangyayari dito ay dumadagdag yung shorts or yung sell orders compared to yung long orders. Paano ko nalaman? Makikita mo siya dito sa changes. So, ang makita mo dito is plus 1818 compared from last week, and ito nabawasan. So, if we compare this to yung last reporting date, which is yung October 31, ang makita mo dito ay noong October 31, 23K lang yung mga short orders. And then yung mga long orders is 8K. Okay? So kung i-compare mo dito sa 7th, di ba 23 nung una, naging 25. Okay? So this tells us na tumataas yung short orders or possibly nagiging bearish yung bias natin dito. So since alam natin to, we can check out the chart to see if it makes sense. Kasi kung hindi rin nagme-make sense, wag na tayo magkaroon ng bias. Kasi pang confirmation lang din yung COT. So ang gagawin natin is titignan natin yung titignan natin yung daily time frame. Okay. So interestingly enough, yung nangyari, no, naging short or naging tinatawag natin na net short, no, yung Swiss franc, and then mas naging bullish yung AUD. So ano yung nakita natin sa chart? Ang nakita natin sa chart ay from this point, naka-downtrend yung AUD-CHF. Tuloy-tuloy, di ba? Meron tayong nakitang series of lower highs, lower lows and lower highs. And then ano nangyari dito? Nung umabot siya sa area na to, okay, nagkaroon ng lower high, pero hindi siya nagkaroon ng lower low. In fact, tumigil na siya dito. Nag-bounce ulit. Okay? So, ang nangyari, nag-form siya ng strong support in this area. Okay? So, mag-drawing tayo ng line to signify that. Yan. Parang ganyan. So, what does this tell us? This tells us that from here, nagkaroon ng mukhang, well, from the chart pattern perspective, nagmumukhang double bottom, Pero aside from yung chart pattern perspective, what this tells us is that although nung una, malakas yung bearish pressure ng AUD as compared to the CHF, ang nangyari ay tumigil yan dito. Okay? Nung tinamaan niya tong support area, nag-form siya ng support area dito, ang nangyari dyan is lumalaban yung mga bulls at this area. So this tells us that yung mga bulls ng AUD, okay, most likely nag-aabang sila ng possible buy entry dito. Ibig sabihin at this point in time, baka dun sila nasusulitan sa price ng AUD. Okay? So that means dito, willing sila mag-buy ng more AUD and they're willing to exchange their CHF there. So it does not mean na porket may bullish pressure na yung AUD CHF dito ay nagiging uptrend na to. Not necessarily. It just tells us with confirmation na yung most likely itong AUD CHF in the long term magre-reversal. Okay? From its downtrend, malaki yung possibility na magre-reversal. As actually nakita naman natin dito na hindi na siya nag-form ng lower low. So that means tumigil na rin yung downtrend dito. Okay? So this is a D1 analysis. So paano natin i-apply sa may lower time frames? So let's see. May makita tayong H4 naman dito. Possibly we can look for another bullish move kung meron man. Di baka pwede tayo maghanap ng intraday na trade. So as you can see here, medyo nagko-consolidate siya dito. And yung 200 moving average which we use to solidify a trend, parang straight pa siya. So wala talaga pa tayong makitang bullish indication or a trend. Okay? Ang alam natin lang is may bullish bias ang COT. But wala talaga tayong makitang trend pa. And then after that, kapag sa H1, medyo wala pa talaga tayong nakitang trend. Okay? So, from the perspective of the COT, the COT tells us na magkaka-reversal siya, pero hindi pa tayo nakita ng opportunity to enter. What is a good opportunity to enter? If may makita tayo, kunyari, chart pattern na bullish, or possibly a series of higher highs and higher lows, yung mga ganyang bagay, or maybe other things that may indicate na it's time to enter. Basically, ang ginagawa lang ni COT is nagbibigay lang siya ng perspective or nagbibigay lang siya ng bias sa long term kung ano ang nangyayari kapag may reversal, mga ganyan. So, yung ginawa natin is kinonfirm natin yung galaw ng COT sa chart and it did make sense. Okay? So, ngayon, medyo dito sa COT kasi medyo mahirap siyang basahin kung parang hindi mo kayang i-compare sa previous date. So, meron akong isa pang website na pwede mong gamitin which is cotperspective.com. So, kunyari, ang natin dito is, kunyari, pinili natin si Australian dollar and then meron tayong non-commercial. Ang makikita mo dito is pwede mo siyang i-compare doon sa ibang dates. Ngayon, yung napansin ko lang dito sa COT perspective is that compared to yung trading stir, may parang hindi siya na-update. So, we can use both. So, kunyari, meron tayong AUD dito, pwede natin i-compare yung changes in longs niya or yung long orders niya from yung mga dating dates. And then, yung pinaka-updated, pwede natin i-check dito sa may trading stir. So, yung ginawa ko is gumamit ako ng dalawa. Okay? So, ganito yung itsura. Okay? So, with practicality, ano yung pwede natin gawin dito? Ang pwede natin gawin dito is we can first look for currency na bullish. Meaning, yung changes niya is nagdagdag ng longs and then nabawasan na shorts. And then, pwede natin siya i-pair doon sa mas mahina. Pag sinabing mas mahina, nabawasan siya ng longs and nadagdag siya ng shorts. So, kung pinair natin yung dalawa, yung malakas tsaka mahina, meron na tayo agad na pair na pwede natin i-confirm sa chart if what we see makes sense. So, yung mangyari dyan is, since non-commercial traders are more of in the long-term perspective, edi ang mangyari dito is kailangan natin tignan yung mga W chart, mga D1 if it makes sense, and syempre, kung gusto mo mag-entry, pwede ka maghanap ng magandang entry sa maybe sa H4 or sa H1. Ang nangyayari lang dyan dito is, you have to make sure talaga na magaling ka magbasa ng trend. Kasi at the end of the day, kahit meron tayong COT bias, you still have to make sure it makes sense with the chart. Kasi kung hindi nagme-make sense sa chart mo, ibig sabihin, either hindi maganda yung market conditions or mali yung pagkabasa. Okay? Again, kahit meron tayong bias na ganyan from data, like for example, sentiment data, it will all end pagdating sa chart. Dito talaga tayo makita kung nagme-make sense yung mga binabasa or mga in-interpret natin. Okay? So, yan yung pagbabasa ng COT chart. Alright, so if hindi nyo pa napanood yung first part nitong sentiment series na to, you can check it out here. And if you want more formal training pagdating sa sentiment analysis, technical analysis, and maybe even fundamental analysis, you can get started sa program natin by clicking the link below.